Hey guys, welcome back. That was an awesome series, wasn't it?
That was pretty fantastic.
I liked
actually.
it a lot. I'm happy
cool.
for Select. It's good to see a foreigner coming in here and winning. I'm just adjusting so my headset doesn't slide off my head.
Yep. By the way,
yeah, it's very tall, but it's not very wide, so I have to be careful.
Little correction, by the way. I was actually Huck did get seated in Code A, and he actually got through that his first time, I believe, in Season 2 of Code A. I was thinking of Jinro. I don't know why.
It's tough to remember. There were a lot of different ways people got into Code A, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
Did he get in through MLG, or was he seeded, or did he qualify? There's a lot of ways to get into Code A.
Yeah, but
you should try it too.
Jinro was the one. He actually had qualified straight into Code S just from being in the open season.
Yeah.
And did very well in Code S as well.
Hey, look! It's OGS MC.
Wait. No, that can't be right. This is Code A.
This is Code A. What is he doing here? Well, here he is, a two-time GSL champion down in Code A. We've had GSL champions in Code A before. It's not the first time.
Yeah.
Had MVP down here a couple seasons ago. He's been a three-time GSL champion now.
I think I don't think we've had a champion in Code A that was in as much danger of getting out of Code A, though.
Fruit Dealer.
Okay, well, maybe Fruit Dealer. True. He's going to be playing... okay, well, he doesn't count.
Rain.
Fruit Dealer is playing tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, fine. There have been...
I'm sorry,
I don't think we've had as strong of a champion. An ST, an MVP, they're the guys with multiple championships. They've never been in this tenuous a position. MC, though, even though he is a two-time champion, he just hasn't been playing well lately.
It's a monster. It's MVP monster instead. Sorry, it was monster. I know. But yeah, you're right about MC. I mean, when MVP came down to Code A, we were like, oh yeah, it's a fluke. He's going to be back up there. He's going to be fine.
Exactly.
But MC, you're like, he's good, but I don't know, man. I mean, Code A is really competitive now. But he's going up against MVP Monster. Monster, he was in the round of 32 last season. Got taken out by, wasn't it? I can't remember who it was.
Monster. We haven't seen Monster since the open seasons.
Really?
You might be thinking of a different... Are you thinking of Luckier or someone else?
I thought so. Well, he did play in that Code A tiebreaker match from a couple months ago, but last year, I guess. A little bit more than a couple months ago now. But seems like it. I don't know. The maps today are Terminus, Tal'Darim Altar, and Dual Sight. Terminus is also a map that's been changed recently, so I have to see if that affects anything.
Yeah, Monster, he played in Open Season 3, and then the Code A tiebreakers that you're referring to, are just in case you guys don't know, are the ones where they didn't know, they only had a certain amount of slots in Code S and Code A, and so they had tiebreakers to determine people with equal point values from the Open Seasons. I'll talk about more of that in just a minute, because we're going to get underway on Terminus Re, the new version, here in just a minute in the GSL.
All right, over here on the left side of the map, we have our yellow Protoss player from the team Old Generation StarCrafters, two-time GSL champion. He is
OGS MC.
Has not been doing well against Zergs lately.
No.
Losing to Czech and to Revival recently.
Yeah. He's going to have to try to beat this Zerg over here. He's come out from under the bed to see if he can scare MC out of the GSL. He is.
MVP Monster.
I know. And there he is. Doesn't look so scary. Looks kind of friendly.
I had a chance to interview him at the Code A qualifiers after he qualified, after he won. And I was asking him, I'm like, well, look, we haven't been around in some months. What changed? And he's like, look, I've just been practicing hard, man. And he said it exactly like that. He said, I've been practicing hard, man. He's just been practicing really, really hard to get to this position, to get back into a place where he can play at this level. So we're going to see he's got a really good challenge here. MC going for a Forge Expand. This time, not putting his Forge way up in the front of his choke where he's vulnerable, although on this map there's no rocks.
Time, didn't he?
they've changed it again so there's no rocks leading down into the third anymore.
Yeah, the third is completely blocked off. It's just a cliff now. They moved the rocks actually to where the third mineral line is. You have to break down the rocks to take your third.
Right.
They've also narrowed the choke going into the natural as well, so it's a little bit easier to wall off and defend. Protoss and Terran were having kind of a hard time walling off on this map. It was very, very wide, so I'm sure MC is a little bit happier about that. I believe actually the last time I casted a game on this map with MC, I was talking about how I had seen Protoss players just kind of sit on this map for a while and kind of try to figure out where the best place to wall off was, because it was really awkward before. So definitely improvement to this map. I'm happy with what they did to it.
Yep. And MC going for the Forge first because he hadn't scouted, but once he does scout, he just goes ahead and plants down that Nexus and getting a gateway as well before his cannon. And his probe is in the enemy base. He knows what's going on. He knows the Zerglings are just popping out, so he knows he has that time.
Yep, should be just fine. Gonna try to prevent the expansion from a little bit, but the Zerglings will chase away the probe. A lot of Protoss players have been struggling in PvZ lately. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon because it wasn't too long ago that Zerg players were saying that Protoss was just unbeatable. And there wasn't really a lot of changes that happened. I mean, there was the Infestor change, and that's about it, really. I mean, Warp Gates got slowed down a little bit. But other than that, it was more just Zerg players kind of finding new ways to play against Protoss players, getting better with the units that they already had. And yeah, things have really, really changed. Now it's Protoss players who are generally having a hard time in PvZ. I really feel like right now, for once, Protoss players have to be the innovators. I don't know if they've needed to be the innovating race yet in StarCraft 2's history so much. So it's kind of a strange position for Protoss players right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. MC getting a first Zealot out, and he's just actually he's going to try and take down those rocks immediately with that Zealot. I don't know if he's got a complete wall off there. I think he does have a complete wall. I believe it is, yeah. Yeah, so he doesn't need a Zealot to block any kind of gap at his wall.
Yep, that's a wall. Much easier to wall off now on this map. And he has already got a Zealot down working on the rocks at his third base as well. He wants to take a third pretty quick, I guess. Can't blame him. I can hear it just barely off the edge of my screen. You might... There it is. How long will it take those guys to cut down a pile of steel girders? We'll see.
It's hardened material.
Oh, hardened material. Well, that's just like the name of the armor type,
I know,
right?
I know. Yes, it's the armor type.
Yeah. Terran scraps.
You know, why is the debris always Terran anyway? Why isn't there ever like Zerg debris or Protoss debris?
Because Protoss and Zerg recycle. You know, the creep just disappears. The Protoss just kind of disappears in a puff of smoke. Terrans just kind of sit around, man. They just, yeah.
It's true.
Just don't do anything.
Not
Terrans.
the most ecological race.
Polluting the universe, man. Somebody call Captain Planet.
Is Captain Planet a Protoss unit or something?
No, he's more just like born from nature itself.
Oh, okay.
There's a very common early Evo chamber that you see a lot of Zergs getting these days. They do like to be safe against the Stargate play and the possible DT play. MC known for really, really, really liking the Phoenix play.
And
can obviously take a third here.
Yeah, he really got that. He's getting that third down very quickly. Monster, in the meantime, has just been droning like crazy. Finally, just now, got some attack units. 10 Zerglings. I mean, he got a couple of Zerglings earlier, but only the couple. And he's just now building some more Zerglings and a couple Spine Crawlers. I guess he's worried about an attack from MC coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, now this is interesting. MC is getting a robotics facility right now. We see Monster's Infestation Pit as well there. Wants to go into that Infestor play. But MC, you know, he hasn't really done robo play too often lately. He's been
Overlord's
really
getting tickled to death.
Stargate.
Sorry about that.
See? The stuff just gets recycled. It's okay.
Just falls into space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting that he's getting that robotics facility.
Hallucination on the way as well, so we will be able to do some scouting with that. And a really fast robotics bay as well, so gonna try to pump out some Colossi pretty quickly. And if Monster does not get Neuroparasite, he could be in a bit of trouble.
I think it's really interesting that Monster, he's too basing right now. He got some defenses up. He's going for these fast infestors, but he hasn't started working on his third. Now that I say that, he sends a few Zerglings over to work on the rocks for his third, but
yeah,
I would have expected him to get that a little bit earlier.
Well, I think this is something we're going to see quite a bit. The ones that Zergling can't find a place, he's like, yo, let me in, I want to hit the rocks too. But yeah, I mean, this is something we're going to see more, is that Zerg players aren't going to be able to take the third quite as fast as they used to be able to on this map. It's going to change things quite a bit. 6 Infestors on the way as that Queen chases away those fake Phoenixes.
Yep, and he can tell it's fake, by the way. If you ever have a Phoenix fly through your base, you want to find out if it's real or not. They can't stop firing. There's no way to stop them from firing, so check your Overlord, and if it has lost any health, it's real, and if it hasn't lost any health, then it's a fake one.
That's right. It's very true.
Little tip for you guys there. There's a lot of Zerglings out on the map. He's getting some Infestors out as well. He's going to have... Actually, he's going to have like 9 Infestors, each with a fungal growth.
Yeah.
So, very Infestor-heavy play here from Monster.
They're kind of moving out by themselves. It's not too dangerous. First Colossus is on the way, though, and I don't know how well this is going to work against what MC has. Now, the big disadvantage for MC is that he doesn't really have a lot of gateway units right now, so he's going to need to be careful in that regard.
Yeah, he has 3 Zealots and 5 Sentries right now, and that is it. So playing very greedy, getting that third base with very few defenses.
I don't really know what Monster is planning here. I mean, he can't really attack the front too directly right now. Yeah, and he's getting a Spire too. Okay, so he's basically made this to kind of take control of the map, you know, try to take out whatever little pushes MC sends out. But he's eventually going to go for Mutas with this as well.
I think maybe he was expecting MC to... Oh, and he's actually going to go for it.
Infested Terrans.
Whoa, mass infested Terrans.
Not letting his Zerglings in. All right, well, whatever. And those Infestors are getting absolutely roasted by those Colossi. Range is not finished yet. But that was not a good attack at all by Monster. That was actually one of the worst attacks I've ever seen, honestly. That was just really bad. I'm sorry.
That was pretty bad. And even if he breaks through, there's sentries with force fields.
Well,
so
I mean,
killing it at force didn't really do any good.
I think that was a bit of nerves going into it because the idea was okay, I guess, but he actually lined up Infested Terrans in a way that blocked all but like 4 Zerglings from getting in there and attacking the front. So
it was an interesting idea to use Infested Terrans to try and break down the wall.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't executed the best. And I don't think he expected 2 Colossi to be there either.
Yeah, that as well.
And that was spelled the end of any amount of mass ground units.
Well, MC is definitely playing a little bit differently, producing a lot of gateway units now to support those Colossi. And he is going to have a pretty scary push coming up here. You can see right away Monster going for that Neural Parasite. It's still very, very good against Colossi.
Yeah.
In fact, that's just about the only Protoss unit you'd want to bother Neuraling. Maybe Archons sometimes.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's in the same vein, it's one of the best ways that Zerg can counter Colossi as well. They've switched, people have switched up into Infestor play more instead of, it used to be standard to just get
here we go.
Corruptors, but hold that thought, there's some Mutalisks coming in to do some harassment. And without very many Stalkers, they're going to be able to do pretty well. Blink is almost done, though. Yeah,
MC barely got enough Stalkers out in time, using those Warp Gates to reinforce a little bit. A 4th base being taken over on the other side of the map by Monster.
It's a smart move.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be able to get that economy up a little bit, get MC's units out of position.
Continuing to pump out Mutalisks, continuing to just use those Mutalisks to threaten. Always trying to... Tries to...
risky.
Sorry about that. Tries to get some sentries for free, but nothing in this life is free, Monster.
Nope. And the Stalkers will chase him away again. He's going to be able to do enough harassment to kind of keep MC in his base a little bit longer at least, but at some point in the future here, MC's going to push out and just leave some Stalkers to defend here. And when he does that, I think Monster's going to have a really hard time holding that. Even getting that Templar Archives as well, wants to be able to feed back those Infestors.
Now, he did keep most of Infestors alive, and so he's just focusing all of his gas now on Mutalisks. He's just going basically mutiling.
That is cool. A lot of Spine Crawlers being built by Monster right now.
That's really interesting.
That is awesome, actually. Infestor plus Spine Crawler equals a lot of dead Protoss units if you can time it right, so very interesting move.
I like the fact that he's using the Overlords there. Here's the thing, though. There are actually 0 creep tumors on the map that I can find.
Oh.
He's not doing any creep spreading.
You're right. Is that No. Is that actually true?
I do not see a creep tumor anywhere.
You're going around the Zerg base. You're right. There's not a single creep tumor on the map right now.
He's just using Overlords to creep everything up.
Interesting.
So that's kind of interesting. That means if those Overlords get driven away, then the Spine Crawlers will slowly die.
Yeah. Well,
and a little bit of an attack at the front here. He's going to flank, though, from both sides. There's a lot of Colossi there. They're going to be able to roast the Zerglings unless he can infest them. Where are the
Neural
infestors?
Parasite doesn't work too well. Enough Colossi are there to take him out. One Colossi does stay knurled for now, but is it going to be enough?
It is not going to be enough for the Zerg. He's got 3 long-range Colossi now going to work on that line of Spine Crawlers. The Mutalisks were not able to take out those Colossus quickly enough. I
think Monster is in big trouble here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's got a lot of Zerglings and Banelings built up, but Zerglings and Banelings are not what you want against Colossi. And Monster's actually going to get supply blocked here in a second as well. Here comes those Zerglings coming in.
Trying to get this round here. Oh, the Banelings annihilated before a single one gets to the Stalkers. And I don't think the Mutas and the Lings are going to be able to take this. No, I think we're about to see the end of the game pretty soon.
No, that is basically going to do it for Monster. MC can just waltz right into the natural expansion now. And waltzing is exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
There's the GG.
Well, so MC maybe showing a bit of a change of styles here.
Yeah, and Monster showing us kind of an interesting style as well. I'm not sure what it is, if it was nerves or something, but not the best decision making in that game in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a rough loss. You know, that first attack just went so badly for Monster, and he didn't really lose a ton with it. You know, he lost a lot of Infestor energy, he lost a lot of Zerglings, but you know, it wasn't a huge loss. He kept most of his Infestors alive, but definitely didn't set the right pace for him, you know?
No, at least he had those Infestors alive, but they didn't really get into the battle quick enough in that big battle in the middle.
Well, then he was like trying to make Mutalisks, but he couldn't make enough because he was trying to make Infestors too, and Tax. So he was like trying to go a couple different ways, and he was making a lot of Spine Crawlers because he ended up getting a lot of minerals and not spending them, and not the best game overall for Monster.
Yeah, and he had those Mutalisks. He was using them to harass, but he never really got enough harassment off with them to really make them worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then in the battle, if that had been half as many Corruptors, he would have just taken out all of the Colossi very quickly. But instead, the Mutalisks just died to Stalkers and didn't actually kill the Colossus.
Yeah.
So the Colossus just kind of owned all of his defenses at that point. He just couldn't do anything about those 3 Colossus.
Well, the timings on the Neural Parasites, too, he didn't really quite engage. Like the Colossi were right here in the line, and he engaged like this in line with his Infestors. And with Thermal Lance, with the range upgrade for the Colossi, that just isn't the type of engagement you can really make that Neural Parasite thing work. Yeah. So, you know, some little engagement problems here and there for Monster, and ended up losing him the game, I feel. Because MC didn't really need to do a whole lot. He just defended against the Mutas and then just pushed out. That's about it.
And I mean, to be fair to Monster, if you can knurl all of those Colossus or kill them off with your Mutas,
then it can go.
The Lings actually do really well. Like normally you think, oh well, you don't want to send Lings against Colossus. That's suicide, and it is. But if you can take care of those Colossus very quickly, the Lings actually will do very, very well. He just couldn't quite stop those Colossus fast enough.
Well, they are good against Stalkers too. You know, you knurl the Colossi, you hit the Stalkers with the Lings, and then you attack move the Mutas onto your knurled Colossus. So
yes, indeed.
Kind of the idea. Didn't work out. We're going to have to see how things go on Tal'Darim Altar. The game's about to start. Who's going to win? Is MC going to stay alive? Or is Monster going to be kicked out of the GSL? Let's find out.